Welcome to Spirit School. I'm your mentor, Danielle Sarank, also known as the Squamish Medium. In this podcast, I share honestly all I have learned about the mediumship and spiritual development journey. My intention is to normalize these conversations, to make way for a more confident, clear, and connected wave of lightworkers, serving the world of spirit with an open and joyful soul. Welcome again to Spirit School. It's not an identity crisis. The crisis is your identity is shifting. This is a quote and wise words spoken to me by my dear friend, Maxine Friend, who I will have on the podcast very, very soon. And this is really a saying and phrase that embodies the overall messages of the month of November, which is huge transformation. And I'm not just saying that because of Scorpio season. I'm saying that because I literally pulled the transformation card for you all. If I were to give the month of November a color, it would be the color purple. I'm using 5 different decks this month. I meditated, I prayed with spirit, I pulled some cards for inspiration. Every single card was purple. When I think of the color purple, this is the color of leadership. If we look at the history of the color of purple, it has been reserved for world leaders. It is an incredibly rare color to see in nature. And it's also a very difficult color to create. It's rare. Now, this message around leadership is represented by the star card. This star card is a beautiful representation of a being who knows themselves, who has looked at their inner leader and how they lead themselves, and has cleaned up any lingering wounds around leading yourself. When things get hard, when you brush up against boundaries, you know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know your personal values, and you act in congruence with those values. This is the one who can lead themselves and is meant to lead others. There is a desire out there, I can sense it, for so many who want to be a leader in this space. And the spirit world is saying that desire is a clue that it can be done. The month of November is an opportunity for you to identify what type of leader you are, who you are. You can't be a leader like anyone else. You can't sound like anyone else. You can't present the same information someone else presents in the same way. You have your own energetic fingerprint, your own energetic imprint. And the spirit world is asking you to witness yourself this month and identify the highest qualities of your own inner leadership. I know that that is what will translate on the outside. There are going to be opportunities this month that show you who you are in crisis, in conflict. And it's going to be very telling for you on where you are at in your journey of being a leader of others. Spirit is asking us to pay attention to avoidance patterns, or where we lack compassion for self. So important as a leader. If you cannot extend compassion and empathy for self, you will be overgiving in compassion and empathy for others and have no way of filling yourself back up, leading to compassion fatigue. The real leader knows how to not just inspire others and teach others, but knows how to lead self. So this month is very much about that inner world leadership. Who do I want to be as a leader? Can I start within? And this is a very positive card. This is not a card signifying to you have a ton of work left to do before you can start leading others. This is you can lead others, but you have to first see how you are leading yourself and what you struggle with in that self-leadership. And very much it's showing that what you struggle with in leading yourself is how you will actually be supporting others in their path, in their life. So this month is going to be very inner reflective, but overall positive. Again, the star card is the card of fulfillment. It's like I have achieved what I have set out to do. And a lot of you are a lot closer than you may actually think. But when you are witnessing yourself, it is so important to not judge yourself harshly. You need to witness yourself from that observer lens, through the eyes of the angels, through the eyes of the spirit world, through the lens of love and compassion. We come here assigned with different things to struggle with, and each of our struggles are as unique as we are. But how you decide and how you lead yourself through these struggles is actually closer to identifying how you are going to be leading others on behalf of the spirit world. The North Node card comes up, which is obviously one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. I'm a North Node Cancer. I definitely live in alignment with my North Node Cancer. I'm very aware of what my North Node means and what missions I've set out to, be here and do in this world. And the North Node comes up because there is an inquiry from your own inner being on what you have been avoiding to do in your leadership role through fear or anxiety or not enoughness or not being validated enough. This North Node card is actually asking us to step out of our comfort zone. Now, a lot of people will wait for that signier sign. A lot of people will wait until the ease comes in. I'm only going to do this if it's easy. I know it will be in alignment because it will be in flow. I know that it will be for me because it will just come so easy and naturally. Now, of course, some things do come very easily to us. But the spirit world is saying that just because it may not be presenting itself in the way that you are expecting or the way that you have asked for, it doesn't mean that you are meant to sit back and wait. This is spirit saying you need to decide what you want and you need to step out of your comfort zone to take actionable steps forward to the life you actually want to live. Stop waiting for ease, stop waiting for flow, stop waiting for comfort to pacify you, to give you that sense of safety and stability to start making some moves in your life. If you decide to join the leadership realm, you will be met with so much uncertainty. And these certainties never come. There are very few things in this life that are going to give you the certainty, that warm, fuzzy blanket that will give you, the feeling like this is it. This is absolutely what I am meant to be doing. There are very few times that will come up. To be a leader means that we have to continuously transform. We have to continuously evolve and expand. And that is uncomfortable, friends. And that is getting used to being in uncertainty and still holding your head high, still showing up for others, even though there are no guarantees on this path. There's no guarantees of success. There's no guarantees you're going to be loved by everyone. There's no guarantees you're going to be able to help every single person who you meet. Will you show up anyways? Who are you in that void of uncertainty? And the more that you get to exist in that void of uncertainty, you figure out who you are in this moment. And that is what the encouragement is for the month of November, is being compassionate with self and looking at yourself in those void moments and seeing who you really are. And then identifying how you lead yourself out. Do you sit back and wait until the energy moves you out and pushes you out? Is that considered leadership? Or do you look at the tools and resources you have gathered for yourself on your journey so far and say, this is what I'm going to pull out at this time. This is how I am going to attempt to turn this around for myself. I am going to make notes and pay attention to my thought processes, to my mindset, to, the inner world experience, because I know that this healing journey is not just for me, that as a leader, I am meant to share how I overcame my struggles. And how boring of a story would it be if you're like, I don't know, I just hung back and waited. I just waited for a flow. And when that flow came, I just wrote it. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Just sit back and wait. It doesn't work like that. That's not what leaders do. Leaders look at a void and they say, I don't know what's on the other side, but I feel pulled in this direction. So I will walk in the dark. I will honor my humanity. I will allow spirit to guide me, and I will meet myself, and I will figure out who I am in this moment, and if that is in alignment with who I truly desire to be. And if there is a disconnect, then I know I have to lead myself to get to where I desire to be. I will follow my North Node. Spirit is saying that there are so many signs around you that you are not seeing. There's a lot of people in rumination right now. I see a lot of busyness in the mind, which is interesting because that's not me right now. I'm too busy to be in my mind, to be honest with you. Too much front-facing experiences right now, just too much going on. But the spirit world is saying that there are signs absolutely everywhere. They're showing me feathers being a main sign. I know that's quite generic, as one would say, but spirit is saying that to pay attention to the feathers that are being dropped, paying attention to the signs. And it's almost like they're holding your chin up. Look up and out. Stop looking down at your feet. Stop looking down at the vortex of your own life. Move out beyond that into the outer world, into the outer community. It's time to get out of the mind and start paying attention to the clues, the inspirations and signs that are surrounding us in nature, in strangers, in, they're showing me people going out for dinner with a group of friends, and there's signs on the menu. There's signs absolutely everywhere, but Spirit is asking us to step out and live our lives in greater ways. That yes, there's a lot that can be done in the journaling and in the meditation and in the pulling of cards and in that quiet, sacred, spiritual practice that I absolutely adore and love. But Spirit World is saying it's in the books, it's in the engagements, in the conferences, it's in the retreats, it's in the PTA, it's in the dance parties at the schools. Like it's everywhere that requires us and asks us to live our full human experience. There are signs there. Go live your life. Expand out. Allow yourself to be inspired by humanity. Allow yourself to be inspired by the world around you. Open up your heart, not just your eyes. And Archangel Michael comes through in this month saying, you are protected everywhere you go. There are so many people who have kept themselves in their rooms, in their homes, because they feel at capacity to go out in the world. And the spirit world is saying there's more protection accessible to you than you may think. You don't have to go around doing all this like energy protection ceremony and work. You just have to be aware of the energy field that is around you and just put some parameters around that. And Archangel Michael comes in because there are some people who have been asking for his presence lately. And I have to say that this is not, I don't bring through angels in my spirit messages very much, but there is a message here from the heart from Archangel Michael saying, I am around, I am here. I am around your loved ones. I'm around your pets. I am everywhere at once at the same time. Millions can call upon me at once, and I could be everywhere for everybody with that same level of presence. And to take that teaching into perspective, that in the spiritual space, there are no limitations when it comes to energy. And even in your leadership role, Archangel Michael is saying there are limitations you are putting on yourself. How many people can I reach? When you're not taking into consideration the ripple effect. If you speak to one person, that is hugely impactful because that one person leaves your energy and goes back to their workplace or their families where they gather in groups. And after somebody leaves your presence, whether it's in a traditional healing arts space or whether that's just an engagement you have at a grocery store or as a cup of coffee or tea with a friend, you don't get privy yet to understanding what the ripple effect of every single conversation you have has. It moves beyond what you think is possible in the perspective of your human eyes. So Archangel Michael is coming in saying, if I could be everywhere at once, in full presence with millions of people at once, can you believe that touching just one person creates a ripple effect for the spirit world that you are not privy to understanding fully until you go home and see your life review? Because Archangel Michael is as asking me to talk about this importance that we want to feel, and that we are stuck in this pattern of needing and receiving validation to feel like we've accomplished anything. And can you, instead of working with the logical mind, how many people have I touched? How many people signed up for my thing? How many people booked in with me? And looking at it in the mind, in those upper chakras, to move down the energy into the heart. And say, has the vibration of the world shifted today because of the work and the way that I showed up in this world? And can you tune into the vibration of the heart space and get a clear gauge on the ripple effect that you have here in the world than these vanity metrics or these metrics that appease the mind? Can we move back down into the heart space and start using heart math to decide and discern what type of impact we are making here in the world? And can we trust what the heart tells us? Can we trust that the heart will say, you did good today? And not have to worry about those numbers or how that's going to impact, future earnings. It's about how many souls can we touch? How many hearts can we ignite? How many cracks in people can we start shining some light through? This is the spirit work that we are meant to be doing on behalf of the world of spirit. I mean, the next cards, I had to pull 3 because I was like, it can't just be this good. We cannot have a month where there's like no crappy cards coming up. It's not true. It's all beautiful. It's all divine. It's all purple. John Holland's Psychic Tarot deck, all purple border cards. We have the 4 Foundations card. We have the 9 Spiritual Strength card. We have the 8 Accelerated Motion card, which is exactly the star card as I look at it. And what I feel around this is the month of November is going to be a month of not only identifying who you are as that inner leader, which will mirror in the outside world how you will impact others and help lead others, but you will also be starting to build a firm foundation around different offerings, different structures. I feel like there are some of you who are contemplating scaling back your day jobs and wanting to dedicate a day or two, a week or a month to your passion and your pursuits, whether, for me, because they're showing me my references. When I quit my job, they were trying to convince me to stay, and they're like, well, what do you want? And I was like, well, I only want to work 4 days a week. And then I got a full day a week to, build out my spiritual practice and really focus on my hobby and my passions and that service work that I absolutely love. And I get the sense that the month of November, a lot of you are starting to think about this. A lot of you are starting to think about the foundations of the next season of your life. And when I talk about the next season of your life, I'm talking about the next decade. And the world of spirit is saying that it's actually in the inspirational realm. It's in the realm of inspiration and spirit that clarity is. A lot of people are putting out spreadsheets and, mathing some very human math. And, there's that saying that they're bringing to me when, you make a plan, the creator laughs. Where it's like, yeah, you can plan as much as you want there, but we would prefer for you to build a foundation in the spiritual realm. How do you want to serve? How do you want to make an impact in this world? How do you want to be a spokesperson on behalf of the world of spirit? How do you want to be an ambassador to the spirit world? This goes heart deep. We want to tap into the heart when we are getting clear on this. And though it may not feel in human form like it's creating that tangible foundation, you are building a spiritual foundation. You are building a foundation of learning how to be in dialogue with the energy of creativity, with the vibration of the laws of manifestation. It goes deeper than the thinking mind, and the spirit world is asking us to build up our spiritual reserve as we prepare into the months ahead that will require that more grounded planning approach. Don't do it backwards. Don't plan your life and your earnings and then figure out how spirituality will fit into it. Tap into your spirituality first. What do I need to be well doing this work long term? What tools do I need to stay well when in the void of uncertainty? Who am I in that void, and what work do I still have left to do? And then how do I need to structure a way of being to support my spiritual path forward? And this is what is going to be giving us that spiritual strength. And once we can get in tune with that inner world, with that, vibration of inspiration and creativity, that unseen world, and feel connected into it and know that we can connect into it anytime and create your own pathway and portal to that space. And then we can make the plan on what that actually looks like in the 3D, how that can support us in our path forward, how that can pay the bills, blah, blah, blah. It's not until we can engage and connect in that inner world. Once we do that and then work on the 3D world, that is where that 8 card comes in. That's where the abundance card comes in. That's where that longevity, that's where that legacy work comes in. But I get the sense a lot of people are crunching numbers right now and bypassing the spirituality. And you can't make spirituality fit in your life. To live a spiritual path and to be a spiritual teacher, it has to come first. So this month is really transforming the way you look at a spiritual path forward. And then the final card I pulled, which I just had to laugh because, these are all embodied goddesses here. And I know I have a lot of male listeners and there's a goddess in you as well. And this is the transformation card. This is a month for those of you who feel the spirit messages that I am giving you. Who you are at the end of this month, if you do this work, if you dedicate 11 minutes a day to just sitting down and checking in with yourself, where's my spirit at today? How's my spirit feeling? If you do some of this deeper work to tune into self and to lead yourself through this month, I get the sense a lot of you will know by the end of this month a lot more who you actually are. And you will get to sense that transformation. I actually almost want you to take stock on November 1st at the time that you're listening to this, which is likely the first week of November. If you were to identify yourself as a leader, what type of leader are you in this moment? What type of leader do you hope or desire to be? And just put that list away and go live your month. And then pull that list out at the end of the month. And I get the sense you're going to see a lot of shifts and transformation. And I want you to know that transformation is uncomfortable. To transform and to make space for new things, because this human experience is a capacity game, there very well may be things that have to get let go, whether that's responsibilities or maybe there's too many commitments that you have made and you have to let a few things go. I know recently for me, I was in a bunch of different spaces and containers and I had to pick and choose just a few because it was, pulling on my energetic capacity, even just having these things in the background. And I had to make space for new things coming in. We're filming the TV show starting this month in November. And I had to look at my capacity levels and say, if I only have so much capacity and I'm adding in a TV show, then I have to think about what I may have to let go of to make space so that my capacity is not pushed over the edge. So I'm working within my capacity and knowing that that will continue to expand and go, but I'm not going to overcommit and trust that the capacity will build up to it. It's like, no, here's my capacity now. This is my spiritual well-being. This is my spiritual well. This is what I have space for right now. And I will trust that that will continue to grow and expand as I continue to grow and expand. So in that clearing process, there will be discomfort. This is not going to be a rainbow and butterfly month, even though every single card I picked out is nothing but beautiful and expansive. We're still going to be met with discomfort. We are still going to be met with disappointment. We are still going to be met with things not going our way. And Spirit is saying there is even going to be a little bit of conflict this month. But this is all opportunities for you to check into self, hand on heart. What's going on for me right now? Is there a version of myself that is outdated, that is speaking louder than the rest? How am I going to lead myself out of this moment? And be proud of yourself when you choose differently. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate that. even if it feels icky, even if you make a different decision. So say Spirit's making me feel like there's so many people who are overcommitting themselves. So just say, leading up to Thanksgiving, for my American friends, the school is saying, we need more volunteers over here, but you're at capacity. But you have volunteered every single time in the past. So it's almost expected of you to go over capacity to make others feel amazing. But you know that your spirit well is empty and you decide to do it anyways. Is that what you would advise people that you are guiding, that you have been asked to guide? Or are you going to choose a different leadership approach? And maybe the leadership approach in this situation is saying, you know what? Thank you for thinking of me. I'm at capacity this year. I will definitely come and shop around and be a participant, but I'm not able to be a leader in the space this year. And choosing yourself and choosing filling up your reservoir first. That's going to feel really uncomfortable because guess what? Other people will be disappointed. And does that mean you shouldn't do it? No. Does that mean disappointing other people means you're a bad person or you're selfish? No, it doesn't. It means whatever meaning you put on it. And you are not responsible for making everyone else happy and comfortable. That is not your responsibility. So if you have to get perspective this month and move out of that perception, I invite you to ask yourself, if I had my child in front of me, if I had a client in front of me, how would I advise them in that moment? And that will get you a lot closer to leading yourself in congruence with how you desire to lead others. And that is really going to be the transformation that takes place for the month of November. So I hope that these messages help inspire you in your decision making and your planning for the month ahead. And who knows, maybe you'll forget everything I say, and hoping that your spirit and your soul will receive the messages it needs this month. I'll just talk about a couple things we have going on in the collective now. You can tune out if you're not interested. And if you want to hear what we have going on this month, would love for you to kind of hear, because things are changing really, really, really fast. So here's just a bit of a personal update for you all. We have our first filming dates for the show Spirit School, which I'm really nervous about. I won't lie. I'm like, oh my God, how did we get here? And so we have those first dates set, and this is for the TV pilot, and I have invited the Spirit School Collective members who live more locally to come participate in that live filming. And so there's a lot that's happening in the membership moving forward, as I am making space in my life for, if the TV show gets picked up, we're going to be starting filming next year. And I'm looking ahead next year at, how do I make space so that I have this opportunity and I can seize this opportunity if it ends up being something that somebody picks up. And up until now, the past 4 years, I have always ran these really big programs, and they do really, really well. We always get 50 plus people in, like the initiation 1.0, 2.0, the calling, all the different things I've always offered. And as I move into next year, I am wanting to work more intimately with people, but like less people. So I love the bigger programs because I love being able to help so many people. But again, I talk about this being a capacity thing. If I can only hold space for so many people at this phase of my development, at this phase of my leadership role, then I want to work with people a little bit more intimately. So I'm going to be changing how I help people develop mediumship in beginner and advancing. I'm also going to be changing how I lead people through starting and launching their spiritual businesses and spiritual offerings. And I'm also adding a small group in the new year for those who want to become mentors. It's going to be called the Mentors Mastermind. So I'm going to be having smaller containers next month, because one of my big desires is and I was telling Andrea this, my right hand essentially, I'm like, I want to know everyone's name. I want to know everyone's name. I want to know what goes on in their mind. I want to see how they work. I want to really hold their hand in making real big progress in their understanding of their mediumship and their understanding of their intuitive abilities. So moving into January, we're going to be doing small group masterminds for development. And we're going to be focusing 2024 on moving away from those larger programs with really high numbers to having smaller, more intimate, connections. And it's me that's yearning for this connection as well. And the interesting thing is it's going to be the same price, which I get scolded for in the business space all the time. But I'm like, I'm happy with what I make. It's good. It's fine. So it's actually going to be the same price, and the membership is going to be included in it. But the thing is, we are opening up the opportunity. There's only going to be 12 spots per group for the collective members in mid-November. So they'll get first crack at applying for these mastermind spots, and that will run January to April. In the collective in November, we are focusing on the healing healer. So this is understanding, though, even though we are healers, we are also still healing. We're going to be covering Chiron, the wounded healer in the astrology of Chiron. We have Sonia, a Phoenix Oracle, who's going to be creating this beautiful meditation. Her meditations are like none I have ever heard. And she's going to be creating this beautiful meditation for light workers who have difficult sessions to move through. And we also have Andrea doing some healing work in the community. I'll be popping in with different audio lessons through the month on, my healing journey as a healer and different philosophies that come through me on that. We'll be having our spiritual philosophy circle, a practice circle. There's a lot of amazing things happening in November. We always have a lot of activities on top of, over 150 historical classes that you can watch at any time. And so that's going to be happening in November in the collective. And then coming in January, we will be increasing the price of the membership because we are going to be adding a lot more. I have some guest teachers that are going to be coming in and helping host weekly development circles so that there's more opportunities to practice and develop. I'll be focusing my energy on assessments so that I can give people live feedback on how they are rocking their light working abilities, and I'll be doing master classes and philosophy circles, lots of stuff I'll be doing, but giving an opportunity weekly to practice in group and with new people is something that's very important to the Spirit School Collective. And so I have some guest teachers that will be joining to help host some of these practice circles. So that's going to be really exciting. We will be increasing the price slightly of the membership because we will be adding a lot more into the membership. So if you want to lock in at the current price, we have almost 150 people in there. There's so many people to practice with. We focus on practice development, personal development, psychic, intuitive, mediumship. All light workers are welcome into the space. And so that's coming up as well. And the applications will open for the masterminds. Again, there's only 12 spots per mastermind, November 13th in the membership. And anything else that is not snagged up by the members, I will open up through Instagram. So follow me on Instagram at Squamish Medium. And then, of course, my newsletter. And then other than that, the only other thing that I've been offering to the members, and exclusively the members, are readings. So I started opening up readings again. It's been a long time since I've been able to do one-on-one readings and mentorship just because I was building out Spirit School in the school. And this month I started opening up like 10 sessions a month and offering them to the members first. And then anything that's not taken, I will put up on my website. So that's another thing that I've been offering, the Spirit School Collective membership. And eventually everything will be run through the Spirit School Collective. That's eventually where we're going, like all the lessons, all the teachings. And, we're going to continue to provide incredible value, over deliver where we can, and, continue to grow and evolve with trying to make it incredibly affordable as well. And I want you to know that I don't really advertise this, but if there is anyone out there who has, financial barriers to being able to develop, I do have a pay what you can model. I have run a pay what you can model for all my programs all these years. I don't talk about it very much because, I don't feel like I need to, but I have always had that. So if you're looking for community, we also have the free Spirit School community. We have healing circles in there. Charlotte does goddess pools. I do mid-month mini spirit messages when I feel inspired. I also get a lot of podcast engagement there. So like my most recent podcast episodes on grief and ghosts were done through that main space, and you're able to contribute to the conversation. So yeah, I'm only saying all this at the end of the spirit messages because I don't like marketing and promoting myself at all. I don't know any light worker that does, to be honest with you, but one thing I constantly hear are people saying, I didn't know that you were doing this. I wish I knew that you were doing this. And so I'm still, 10 years in and 7 years into entrepreneurship, trying to find my groove and comfort with letting you all know everything I have going on. So here's me just snagging a few minutes of my podcast episode to let you know what's been going on. And yeah, that's about it. And next week you'll get a podcast episode on an interview I'm doing with Dominic Bogue, who just released his book, The Voice of Spirit. So for now, I will love you and leave you. I'm going to send you on your way, and I'm going to wish you a divine November. And if I don't see you again till the spirit messages, I hope that whatever transpires for you in this next month is nothing but beautiful and expansive and transformative for you. Have a good month, everyone. Did you know that Spirit School is not just a podcast? It's an actual school. If you go to myspiritschool.com, you can invest in self-study courses, live programs, and of course the Spirit School Collective, my baby, my monthly membership community. All Spirit School offerings are intended to get you feeling clear, confident, and connected to your spiritual path, your development journey, and of course, connected to other spiritual curious souls who are having similar experiences to you. I hope to see you in Spirit School.